What's up everybody, I'm Z-Wade, the Z-Wade and Z-Wade Photo. Now, you notice I'm wearing a dual camera strap, but I've just got one camera. Well, you're gonna have to subscribe to the channel to see why I am here and why I'm rocking two cameras in the next video. But real quick while I'm out here, I wanted to compare a couple of lenses again. Since everybody was real fussy this time, I am gonna change lenses, one camera, the Z9, and we're actually comparing the 105 f2.8, that's the macro lens, one of my favorite lenses for portraiture actually, even though it is a macro lens. And then we're also going to do the 70-200 at 105, both of them at f2.8. I just want to see if there's any noticeable differences, to see which one is actually maybe a little more contrasty perhaps, or maybe a little more forgiving perhaps. And guys, I'm basically going to shoot from the elbow up, and we're going to shoot them at the exact same settings. And so we have one shot. Now I'm gonna switch. And see, we have a use for this gimmicky little top screen. We can see that I'm at 105. Thank you, Claire. Oh. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. After you've been shooting photography for 12 years or so, sometimes that full and 5-meter switch will get you. Now I just need to jump into Lightroom and see if there's any real differences.
All right, guys, we are back in the WadeWorks studio to look at these images. Man, what a day. We actually shot 3 videos on this day. We shot 2 quick lens comparisons. Most of the work is being done now, but we also shot 1 full-length photo shoot. So if you find yourself coming back to the channel and watching the videos and you're not subscribed yet, I hope you'll join this little family that we've got here. Now, let's check out the images. Image number 1 is going to be our 105 MC f2.8, and the image number 2 is the 70-200 f2.8. Both of these lenses are S-line lenses, and looking at them initially, the color looks pretty similar. The 70-200 is perhaps a little more warm, and granted we didn't get the exact same pose, but who cares? Because they're both good images, and I will deliver both to our model Claire. The first thing I want to look at is the profile correction. So on the 105, there is almost no distortion. The only way you're gonna see it is like right here a little bit. And so that's a very, very good quality made lens. On the 70-200, not that it's not good, high quality, but there is more distortion. And actually with the correction, I feel like it looks worse. And so it's almost better to not correct or profile correct the 70-200. We're not going to get a full feel of what these images look like unless we do a little bit of editing. So I'm going to edit the 105 first, a little play around, and then we're just going to apply those settings to the 70-200. And if there is any temperature that needs to be adjusted on the white balance, we might do that just to try to get them as close as we can. So let's go ahead and give a little play around to the 105. Now, these aren't perfect renderings. I didn't go in and edge everything absolutely, but this should get us in the ballpark of seeing which one might be a little bit better here or maybe not as good there. And so looking at the 105, let's zoom into 200, which is stupid. Oh, we actually maybe missed the eye a little bit. Let's look at the hair. So what I'm seeing is on the 70-200, the background is a little more creamy than on the 105. But I feel like looking at the bark, the 105 may have a little more contrast. It's very small. Just like with most of the Z lenses, it's like you're really splitting hairs. which is the problem with the last time I did one of these videos. It's like they're so similar. It kind of just comes down to like, what do you want? For me personally, I really like the uncorrected profile of the 105, and you have to have a very, very well-trained eye to see the difference, but you know, it's almost nothing. You'll probably never care. Yeah, so raw, I would say that the 70 to 200 is a little more warm, which you don't see a lot of that anymore. You kind of see optical surgical precision rather than like a lens character, which would be that warmth or that coolness. You don't see that a lot, but after you do some adjusting, it really disappears. And so this is a hard one to choose. I think the only thing that's really noticeable is if you want like a slightly more blurry, creamy, kind of soft, beautiful background, the 70 to 200. But if you want just a tad more contrast, then, you know, you go with the 105. And I think the 105 is, you have versatility on both ends. So you have the 70 to 200, which is versatile in the fact that it zooms, but you have the 105, which is versatile in the fact that it's also a macro lens. But keep in mind with the 70 to 200, that does have a fairly good focusing distance for a, you know, a 200 millimeter lens. And so I've done a little bit of macro with the 70 to 200, just playing around, and it can be done. So this is a really tough one. I would say if you don't shoot macro at all, maybe the 70 to 200 is a good option, because the 105 is, you know, it's f2.82. And if you get close, then it automatically will start jumping up to 3.5 and stuff like that, because it's a macro lens. All macro lenses do that. So really, this just comes down to preference. I have a very hard time choosing which one I like better. And just as a real quick side note, if you do want a creamier background, and that's what's kind of hanging you up, it shouldn't, but if that's what's hanging you up, like, I just want it to have a creamier background. See, we already have selected our subject. And so we can click on this and we can just like pull the texture on the background a little bit. A little bit of clarity. Just pull them down a little bit and it's a little creamier. And see, now they look really, really similar. This one is not as exciting. There's not as many differences as some of my previous lens comparisons, but really, that's kind of awesome, because really the choice is just up to you on which focal length you'd rather have. Do you want the zoom capability, or do you want the macro capability? I'm Z-Wade, the Z-Wade, and Z-Wade Photo, and stay sharp, YouTube.